Hi, I'm Sharon Renfro of SharonRenfro.com and Our Hearts and Minds. Our Hearts and Minds believes that we must open our minds before we can open our hearts to one another, a fundamental idea to an alternative way to understand relationship psychology. Now, this means that the key to relationship success is thinking. I am diverging from what I typically do, and I'm doing a series on divorce. And today's video is the second part in that series, and it's titled Divorce Part 2, Divorce in Triangles. Now, even though over 50% of couples divorce annually, people react as if divorce is a rare process that demands side-taking, as if side-taking is a beneficial process. Instead of supporting the person who experiences the divorce to behave in ways that create a sense of safety, support persons, friends, and family dramatically increase the sense of threat, which results in extreme levels of and intensity of conflict, fight, distance, flight, pretend camouflage, and cutoff playing dead. The support person creates this increased sense of threat by giving advice that is biased, treating the relationship partner with disregard and disrespect, side-taking without having any pertinent facts, and encouraging very negative feelings. Side-taking sounds like it would be supportive, but in fact, when emotional perceptions and interpretations are encouraged, it becomes less likely that the divorcing person will be able to objectively see the process that has led to the divorce, thus making it less likely that beneficial life lessons will be learned. The opportunity to mature emotionally and to gain a more solid sense of self dissipates. Then, gradually, as support persons become less involved, as the intensity of the anxiety decreases, what remains is a series of emotionally driven decisions and highly negative feelings that last for years, exacerbating the continuation of conflict, distance, pretend, and cutoff. The triangle between the family member and the two divorcing persons simply means anxiety gets passed around. It passes off anxiety to the next person like a hot potato. But the anxiety which created the relationship problems that led to divorce ends up back between the original twosome to be played out in years of drama. The lack of resolution of any issue means the anxiety reactivates in the relationship system with minimal stimulus. If children are involved, this process is what causes harm and actually leads to divorce, taking its toll on children. For the support person, the emotional reactions are experienced on every level. Don't think that the support person gets away scot-free without absorbing anxiety that impacts every component of the self, so that their immune system gets impacted, their ability to think gets impacted, they're impacted at a genetic level, at a cellular level. All of the components of self are involved in that reaction. So hormones are increased, and these hormones are actually not beneficial to human tissue. So the support person who does this side-taking and is not neutral actually has a toll taken on their life as well. That's really important. So think twice before engaging friends and family in relationship breakups. And if you are one of the family or members or friends, explore ways to support without taking sides and increasing and or absorbing copious amounts of anxiety. No one benefits, and everyone at some level, in some way, does end up experiencing the harmful outcome of emotionally driven reactions, and that's what side-taking is. Ignorance of the process blinds people to the more adaptive strategies that could be used. Number one, to support a person, you could gather objective and pertinent information. At minimum, there are two sides to every story. Questions like, what do you think led to the serious decisions to end the relationship, to separate, to break up? How can you come out of this a stronger person? What life lessons can be gained? What are the possible beneficial differences from this change that could happen for you? Number 2, help the person to make logical sense of what happened. What's led to this separation divorce? When we can deeply understand, we can act in ways that help us to mature and to make wise decisions. Drinking sessions focused on retribution, seeking revenge, and doing dirty tricks push a person away from understanding and cement a person into conflict, distance, pretend, and cutoff as strategies that can't solve anything. Talking in a neutral way can help a person to see beyond the event, to determine how beneficial life lessons can make a difference to the person's future. Asking questions such as, isn't what your partner doing now the same patterns that he or she used in the relationship that actually caused the problems? How did you react then? And what could you do now that would be different from the past that would help you to let go of this issue in the future? Number 3, reflect with your friend or family member on how everyone must be experiencing what is happening, and speculate about ways to respond differently. The differences should be based on desired short-term and long-term consequences for each person involved. Decisions should help the divorcing person to take well-defined positions that set limits on potential emotional reactions, which in the long term will calm the relationship system down. And based on reality versus more on instinctual lizard-like behavior. That's really, really important. Now, if these ideas have been beneficial to you, please like us so that others may find us. And you can find expanded discussion of these ideas at SharonRenfro.com in our free relationship podcast series, Our Hearts and Minds, the Psychology of Relationships. And thank you for listening.